When your child's emotionally dysregulated, they're melting down, they're aggressive towards you, they're acting defiant, how quickly they bounce out of this state is all related to how securely attached they are to you. In this video, I'm going to share 5 powerful strategies that are going to help to strengthen your connection with your child and also build their emotional regulation skills from the inside out. I'm Lisa, a child behavior expert and a parent coach. I have over a decade of experience as a pediatric occupational therapist. I help parents to feel empowered using science-backed strategies and tools that are going to help you feel confident in supporting your child's development. With the right knowledge and tools, you can raise a resilient and confident child who thrives at home, school, and in life. So you probably have a child who is quick-tempered. They blow up over the smallest things, and it feels quite exhausting dealing with their emotional roller coaster. You try to help them by saying things like, it's okay, it's not a big deal, hoping that they're just gonna calm down and snap out of it. But this doesn't seem to work. It tends to escalate their outburst, leading to so much stress and turmoil in your house. You're feeling like the connection you have with your child is becoming more emotionally distant. And it's also starting to show up in the way your child's interacting with their peers. You're finding that they're having a hard time maintaining strong friendships. They're getting into arguments and fights at school, and it's causing your child to feel more socially isolated. And when you do try to connect with them, it seems like they're always shutting down or acting defensive. And so you can't even have a word with them. You can't even have a conversation without it blowing up. The relationship you have with your child feels like you're walking on eggshells. You're not sure who's going to show up when they walk through that door. Is it going to be your happy kid, or is it going to be your kid that is just going to blow up at everything you say to them? So here's the thing. Your child's emotional outbursts are a sign of something deeper. It's a sign of an unmet attachment need not being fulfilled. Their outbursts are a cry for help and connection. They're craving to be seen, to be heard, and to feel connection with you. This secure attachment is all built on how we show up for our kids. But when some of our own behaviors and actions don't reinforce a secure attachment, this is where emotional regulation gets underdeveloped. So these are 5 ways you can start building a secure attachment with your child. Number 1 is to acknowledge and validate your child's emotion before you start correcting them. When your child's acting out, there's always a deeper emotion beneath that. It means that your child's having a hard time. It might be that they're having a hard time dealing with frustration or disappointment or sitting with feelings of anger. So what we see are the bad behaviors. When our kids act out, they throw a tantrum or they talk back to you. I want you to remember that these are all superficial behaviors, right? It's just the tip of the iceberg. But when we peel back the layers of why our child's acting this way, it's because of an unmet need or an underdeveloped skill. They're struggling to process different emotions. Maybe they had a really hard day at school. They're coming home and they haven't processed all that emotion and they're dumping it out on you. Instead of telling your child to stop acting rude or to stop melting down, stop yelling and screaming, the first thing you need to do is hone in on those emotions that they're feeling, because they're clearly having a hard time. And the more we try to correct their behavior in that moment, we actually escalate their emotions and the behaviors continue to perpetuate. When we actually empathize with the emotions that they're feeling, we help them to feel more grounded. Because what's happening is when they're feeling so many emotions that are hard for them to process and sit with, they're spiraling out of control. And the more that we jump in with correction, the more they continue to spiral. But when we empathize, we actually help them to feel seen and heard in that moment, which grounds them. When we learn to emotionally connect with our kids, it helps to turn off the part of the brain that's causing them to react in the first place, which is called the amygdala. Just think of it right back here. It's a little tiny almond-shaped piece of the brain, and this is what causes our children to react out of all those emotions. When we learn to stay connected, to stay grounded and calm, we help to turn off that part of the brain and help to activate the prefrontal cortex, or the thinking logical part of the brain, to help your child rationalize and calm themselves down again. And once this prefrontal cortex is back online, they're able to have a conversation with you. Number 2 is to be consistent with how you respond to your kids. The worst thing for kids is when parents are inconsistent and kids don't know what to expect, what kind of reaction they're going to get from their parents. So when you say one thing, stick to your word. Don't start changing things up, because what you say really sets the tone of how your child is going to expect what the outcome is going to be. So for instance, if you sit down rules saying things like, you have 10 more minutes for screen time. After the 10 minutes are over, your kids whine and plead, asking for more, and you go, okay, fine, have another 5, but after the 5, you can't have any more. And then after the 5 minutes, they come back, they whine and complain, and you go, okay, fine, another 5. These inconsistent boundaries sets a lot of inconsistencies for your kids. You're throwing your child through an emotional roller coaster by doing this. You're saying one thing, and then you change up your mind another minute, and that brings up some excitement. And then they're back to feeling disappointed because they couldn't have more, but then you give in and then you give them more excitement. And so this up and down type of emotional roller coaster creates instability for kids. So you need to create consistent boundaries and stick to your word. When you say something, don't change it. Even if you get that pushback, even if you get that whining and complaining, because the more consistent you are, the more your children will start to respect that when mom or dad sets firm boundaries, that's the way it's going to be. And it's very important that kids feel that security with you, because at the end of the day, they're here to trust you and your judgment. And if you are kind of wishy-washy with your boundaries, they're not gonna know if I can actually trust mom or dad in these moments when I really need you to be my grounding source for me. Number 3 is to be present. This is so important, especially in our fast-paced modern world that we live in. So many of us parents have so many responsibilities that are put on our backs. We are the full-time parent. We also have to work. We have household duties. We have to take our kids to all of their extracurriculars, acting like their chauffeur, right? We have so many things, and, we overwhelm ourselves that when we're home, we often, grab our phones. We want to zone out. We just need time to recharge ourselves. And it's in those moments where we try to refuel ourselves, but then our kids are asking for our attention, that we're not able to fully give it to them and be present for them. And also a lot of us are multitasking. We're managing cooking dinner. We're trying to help our one kid with their homework, and then our other kid wants to paint something. And our attentions are broken up into so many different pieces. But what this does, when we are not able to be fully present with our kids, we actually send them the message that your presence is not enough because I'm too busy with too many other things. And I understand this might sound like I'm blaming you for all the things that you have to do. And it's not about that. It's about reconstructing your lifestyle so that you can be present for your kids. I get that we have so many responsibilities, but at the end of the day, if you want to build a secure attachment with your kids, you have to be fully present for them, especially when they are needing it and asking it from you. So the next time your child comes up to you and they say, Mom, take a look at my assignment I just did. I got a B+, or they want to show you their artwork, or they want to go outside and play ball with you. These are the moments that you really want to capture because they're coming to you. They're seeking for that attention from you. And I get it. There's always going to be two sides of the story. On one end, yes, if you can put away all the other things you're doing and give them your full attention, do that. But if, let's say, you're in the middle of something that is very important, you're in the middle of cooking a hot stew and you can't just put that down to go outside and play ball, turn to them in that moment. Look at them at eye level and say, I really want to go out and play ball with you. Right now, I do have to finish making this stew, but once I'm done, we're going to go out and play together. Just something like that. That acknowledgement will help to build a connection, even if you can't attend to them in that moment. Number 4 is to get curious about your child's interest. So I know a lot of our kids, they're really into video games. They're really into the latest shows and cartoons that are out there. And we may not have an interest in those things. But the reality is that is what our kids' world is made out of, right? It's their personal interest. It's the relationships that they have with their friends at school. And so in order for us to really build that connection with them, we have to hone into their particular interest. This is especially true for our kids who you find you're having a really hard time making that connection. You're trying to engage in conversation with them, but they keep shutting you down, right? They're withdrawing into their rooms. You feel like there's no way in because their door is always closed. But it's these particular kids where you really need to tap into those interests of theirs. Sit down with them. If they're watching something, even if you're not interested in, just ask them, hey, would it be okay if I sit beside you for a few minutes and just watch what you're watching? A lot of the times our kids would be so thrilled to share a love, a passion that they have for something with someone else who actually cares. If they're playing a video game and you can, again, sit down beside them, ask them, is it okay if I just watch you play for a few minutes? Now, the next time you can ask them, hey, would you mind if I try to play too? Would you show me what are all these different buttons I'm supposed to press? The more you act curious, you ask questions, this is going to build connection. It's going to open a door for you to start having conversations. And it's through that initial conversation over their interest that's going to accumulate and start to branch out into other types of conversations you can start having with them. Now, the fifth strategy is by far the most important one, that if you can master this one, you will start to create a secure attachment with your child. And this is to be regulated yourself. When we know how to emotionally regulate, so when we're feeling frustration, right? Our kids, oftentimes they trigger us when they're in meltdowns, when they're having tantrums, when they're misbehaving. Those types of behaviors trigger us as parents, and that can escalate our own emotion. And we can easily get caught in it, lose control, and start yelling, start throwing our own adult tantrums towards our own kids. But that is just a state of dysregulation. And when you react like that in moments when you're feeling dysregulated, you're actually teaching your child how to behave in that way as well. So whenever they're feeling frustrated, angry, or disappointed, they're going to default to how you handle those emotions yourself. And it's actually in the regulation, the connection through two regulated people that builds a strong attachment and connection. And so getting your foundation in emotional regulation, learning how to stay calm when emotions start to get heated, helps your child to learn to do the same. And this process is called co-regulation. So you being regulated helps your child learn to regulate themselves, which helps to build and strengthen the attachment and bond you have with them. So if you're here and you're struggling to feel emotionally connected with your child, I want to assure you that you aren't alone in this. I know so many parents who are struggling to build this bond with their child. There's just been years and years of habits that have been made and disagreements that were never repaired that is causing so much pull and disconnect. And I know when this happens, it can feel very helpless and hopeless, thinking that, is there even a remote chance that I can repair this? Can I actually rebuild my relationship with my child? And I can assure you, it is never too late. I have met families of kids who were in their teens that were able to rebuild this connection. Even adults, young adults who still, they grew up with so much turmoil and so much arguments and pulls, tensions within the family. They're full-grown adults, but they were able to repair. They were able to come back to a place of reconnection with their elderly parents. And so if you're here with a young child and you're wondering if this is even possible, it absolutely is. So if you're ready to start rebuilding your connection and start strengthening the attachment you have with your child, in my one-on-one parent coaching, I'm going to show you exactly where the break in your attachment is starting from. And I will give you the step-by-step on what exactly you need to do to start shifting your own regulation, your own approach, and how to actually support your child to help them feel seen and heard. And this is going to have huge impacts on your child's emotional regulation and the way they feel when they're in your presence. Ultimately, what you're going to start to see for yourself is reduced behaviors and meltdowns, and you're gonna feel way more connected with your child. So if you're ready to make this change for yourself, you can find all the information in the description box below and book your free consultation call. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.